Hello, hello, testing, testing. Okay, hold on. I can't test because the thing disappeared. Is this on? Yeah, I guess. I guess if the red light is on, that means that it's connected because it doesn't have its own power source. All right, so I know that I'm a little bit peculiar. I know this. I bought this in Israel, by the way. I know that I'm a strange man, but it's fine because as I keep telling people, this is my form of therapy, right? Maybe a little bit of background would help. I grew up in an environment where I was strangled, beaten, insulted, ridiculed. There's a lot of things that happen. And quite frankly, it made me a sociopath. Now, before you run away and think, oh my God, this guy is going to be a serial killer, he'll make furniture out of me, that's not necessarily what psychopaths do and sociopaths as well. The thing about being a sociopath is that the term has received a lot of bad press, right? It doesn't mean that because I'm a sociopath that I'm going to go out and kill. It means that I am not necessarily going to follow the rules of society. I'm going to be slightly eccentric, impulsive. I may not fully understand what respect means or boundaries or things of that sort. And it also might be associated with some form of personality disorder. Now, disorder again tends to be filled with a bunch of bias, right? It's like, ooh, there's something crazy about him. Well, something crazy about all of us, man. And if that's not apparent yet, if that's not something that people fully understand at this point in their lives, whatever point your life is at, then I'm sorry, but maybe you're an ignorant fuck. So what can I say? I can't help with that. Um, so right now, I guess my main concern is that sometimes I'm misconstrued. I don't mind being interpreted. I don't mind a perception occurring, but to start ascribing maybe sometimes some really distorted interpretations that don't necessarily make me look good. I'm struggling, man. I have values. I work with some young kids and like in their early 20s, and sometimes they're like, "Hey, see, you said not to do this, but now you did that. You said don't poke fun at people, but now you're poking fun at this person." It's like, yeah, no problem. I get it. I contradicted myself. Great, you scored. You got a point. So, anyways, I have a lot of shit that I need to work through, and this has allowed me to work through it. I don't need to post my videos, but I guess I want to because it makes me feel like there's something a little bit more substantial as an end result to me making this video, and I'm not just talking into some empty space. Curiously, though, in New York at one point, there was a box that was very frequented. It was one where people would walk in and they would reveal secrets, talk about stuff. And this was, I think, pre social media. It was a social experiment of sorts, and it worked. And so people would just record like a confessional, right? So they would record a lot of very deep and personal things. Um, I think the need to talk, it wasn't Freud, it was that guy, the Jung. This notion of talking, this notion of trying to work through something, this notion of trying to maybe have a different interpretation, different take on the world, on ourselves. Like sometimes I wonder, my videos don't get many likes at all. So I'm like, hey man, you're really in a very unique situation where there's really no one interested in anything you have to say. I think I'm entertaining. Some people think that I'm entertaining, but maybe I'm not. To most people, I think I'm pretty funny. I think I'm bizarre. I have a unique way of viewing the world, and I don't always comply with, the regular way of behaving or acting. I am charming, as sociopaths usually are, right? But I do not necessarily sustain that behavior. At some point, I'm bipolar, right? So or there's borderline, sorry, borderline. That's what that's been canceled now. That's been supplanted with bipolarism, whatever. Anyways, whatever, man. These are just labels to try and help people. It's like a recipe, right? To try to understand someone. You don't have to follow it. You don't like religiously, fanatically. You can deviate a little bit, and you can say to yourself, okay, guess what? Yeah, I might have elements of borderline personality disorder. What does that mean? Okay, I tend to see things in white and black. I tend to, at one point, think that someone is fabulous, and then I start noticing their mistakes. So, what is that telling me? It's telling me that maybe I'm afraid of intimacy. I'm afraid of connecting with someone. I'm seeing that they're flawed, that they're not necessarily worthy of being my confidants, my friends, right? So maybe at some point they're going to grow tired. There won't be any, what is that called? Unconditional love. There certainly wasn't any with my mom, unless I bought her some alcohol. That was pretty good later on as I grew older and I made money. I was able to get her to do stuff if I bought her alcohol. So getting back to Young, he believed in this thing called talk therapy. Beyond this, I don't know very much. All I know, and why do I know about this? Because I used to go to group therapy. And for me, I found that group therapy was extremely helpful. It was great to see other people who had certain characteristics, behavioral patterns that were, if not identical, but very similar to mine. And in that way, I was able to see some of the things that I was doing to other people, deflection, gaslighting. I didn't fully understand what these, I didn't understand the sequence of behaviors that led to doing those things. A lot of it is rooted in cowardice and not being able to take responsibility, in being addicted to a certain way of being, of living, which does not coincide or jive with somebody else wanting consistency, wanting someone who's loyal, who's safe, who isn't explosive, this and that, right? So selfish behaviors, limited, compromising behaviors, hence the sociopath. So being able to see those behaviors in others, I began to recognize them more in myself. And then I could have what I believe to be a more honest internal conversation with myself. So I thought that the whole talk therapy or group therapy situation was exceedingly helpful. I was like, it was so helpful. I was mandated to go to this particular group for 6 months by the court. And at first I was like, you're forcing me to do something. I don't like that. I've always had issues with authority, understandably, right? So I just decided, okay, I am going to do this because it was a condition to being able to see my son. So I then decided to continue, and I continued for 2.5 years. So I believe that that was probably one of the most important things that could have happened to me in my life. I was able to really benefit tremendously, and I think others also noticed that I was always striving to be different, which is great. It doesn't mean that I'm surrounded by a shitload. If I do that sometimes, I'm dyslexic with expressions. I mix things, but that's called spoonerism. I studied linguistics, right? So that's a phenomenon. There's this thing called transformational grammar, It's these trees by which our brain, our language learning device, according to what the fuck was his name, man? He's so Chomsky. That was the big thing, the big innovative thing in linguistics in the 60s. And then you had others that came around with other more complex, well, actually, I don't know if they were more complex. Anyway, so the explanation of how the device which allow in our brain, which allows us to learn a language, is expressed through a series of rules. And those rules are generated, the grammar that is specific to a particular language community is generated. And that's called transformational grammar. And it's apparently one of the hardest linguistic classes. I thought Sanskrit, Indonesian, or whatever the fuck it was. Wow, I had nightmares. I was failing. Everything was going to crash and burn. My entire university, dreams of being a speech pathologist and so on, which I burned myself later on, anyways, when I walked out of there. But in terms of the class itself, that was one of my favorite ones. I absolutely adored it. So yeah, so that's the thing, man. So we're creating these rules, and sometimes the wires cross. So instead of saying the car is far, you'll say the far is car. There's a lot of theories as to why that is the manifestation of the error, because R, right, it's repetitive. And so somewhere instead of the F going this way and then the C going that way, it, whatever, anyways, you understand. I'm supposed to, which way is the far? That way. Okay. Something like that. What I'm hoping that people will take away from this is there's clearly a stream of consciousness, right? Go read Henry Miller, see what his stream of consciousness was like. Poe was a lot more technical, and I think it was a lot more editing, a lot more in-depth structured thinking. And in terms of a director that I was thinking of recently, he just came to mind, Lars van Trier, if that's how it's pronounced, right? Remember when he said that it gave him pleasure to know that he had like some ancestors that were fucking Nazis, right? So what did he mean? He could understand Hitler. Like, that's what happens when you free associate, and sometimes you don't know where it's going to go. So that quirkiness became actually quite unacceptable. And what's her name? Kirsten Dunst. She was right there, and she tried to remain supportive, and she plastered sort of like some type of neutral expression. I would hope that I would have had the strength to actually say, hey, listen, I respect you as a director, but right now I don't want to be associated with this. I'm just going to step away and let you finish the conference on your own. But thank you so much for everything. Just step away. Do so gracefully, but there is no graceful way of stepping away from that. Yet she's not the one who created that situation or that awkwardness. So right now, I'm a little bit upset because I went out, I went on the boat, and I was relaxing, and I was trying to meditate, meaning that as thoughts came to my brain, I would just allow them to pass by and not think, oh, okay, I have to do this. So there wasn't like really necessarily a deep engagement with the thoughts, or I had to focus initially on not allowing myself to have a deep engagement, such as, oh, I wonder why, by the way, I do need to write this down. I wonder what advantages, goddamn, my pen's not working. Advantages to a longer stem on a Mercury engine. All right, so that's the thing. I was on the boat, relaxing, come home, this goddamn text. One of my clients that I moved, apparently she is missing 2 boxes. We had 2 pickup locations, 1 destination. and there were, oh no, actually, no, hold on. Did we? Yeah. One in the West Island, one in TMR, and then we dropped everything off in Westmount. There were multiple opportunities for things to go missing, and now I'm gonna have to call her and or deal with it. I don't need to call her now, but that was the whole reason why I started filming, because I actually wanted to. I just got a text. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, what does the text have to say? Thanks for the payment. I'll move my truck tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's because I had to. I towed my truck over. Okay, so let's call Remy and tell her that I don't have the boxes.
This person cannot be reached at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone. After you leave a message, you can modify it by pressing pound.
Hello, Remy. It's Erickson from We Haul Movers. I hope you're having a nice evening. Sean told me that you texted him. So unfortunately, I do not have your boxes. I'm actually quite sad that you are missing your boxes, but they're not in my truck. So if that's of any help to you, at least you can rule that possibility out. We offloaded everything that we had. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me on Thursday, because tomorrow is going to be kind of crazy and the temperature is going to be 31 degrees. And I'm just going to be really focused on work. All right, so I'll talk to you on Thursday if you need to call me. Bye-bye. All right, so that's it. I am going to call Sean now and see what Sean has to say. Sean. He's probably not going to answer. Oh, hey, hello, Sean. Hey, can you give me Remy's telephone number?
Yeah, sure. I'll send it. Or do you want me to call it to you over the phone?
You know, I'm old school that way.
Okay. So it's 514.
Yeah.
892.
Okay.
8632.
8632. Oh shit! Yeah, no, that. Oh god damn. Yeah, no, that I just called that number. She didn't answer.
That's the number that they wouldn't answer either.
they're not big on answering their phones, huh?
Yeah, I guess not.
Okay, cool, man. Anyways, listen, I appreciate you guys bringing the card back yesterday. That was great. The guy was a little weird.
Yeah, he was sleeping by 10.
Yeah, he was asleep by 10. Yeah, I think he's an athlete.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know, man. He had a lot of powder and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's not an athlete. I don't know what the fuck he does. He's weird.
You didn't have too many weights. You only had that one.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye, Sean.
Okay.
All right, so I tried. I left her a message. Hopefully she'll get it. Maybe I should text her as well. I will text her. Okay, hello, Remy. This is Erickson from Movers. I did say her telephone number. That was stupid. Sean told me you are missing 2 boxes. I am sorry to hear this. We have nothing in the truck. Call me Thursday if you have any questions or If you have any questions, I guess that's sufficient. Or need any recipes. No. All right, what up? Hey. So there you go. So I did what I need to do. Hopefully it's going to work out. I don't like when shit like this happens because then there's a possibility, of course, that I can be blamed. So that's the thing, man. I went out. I did some boating. I stayed there for like maybe an hour and a half. I felt really relaxed, felt pretty good. And then I come back to this message. So it's a little bit unfortunate because I know I'm pretty freaking focused and organized when it comes to stuff like this. I make sure that we consolidate all the time. I quadruple check. And yet, I can't really eat this now, can I? Actually, hold on. All this is from Costco. Oh. How can I do this? Oh, yeah, okay. You see? Can we see? How the fuck can we see? Oh, there we go. Everything's like reversed. Oh, there we go. It's like driving backing up because I'm trying to move stuff by looking at the way things are moving on the screen, but it's backwards, right? So if I move my left, it's screen left. I haven't gotten accustomed to that yet. Anyways, look. Oh, shit. I'm fleeing. Yeah, so that's the thing right here. Where the fuck is it? I got it. This here is like a vegetarian ravioli. Ravioli? Yeah, ravioli. It has no cheese, but I did put some Parmesan. It's actually empty because it looks like a starfish. It looks like a little squid. Tell me who will win the Olympics. Remember that? So, I guess for me, I just need a fucking break, man. I'm just tired of this fucking stress. There's all this stress. My weight's been fluctuating for the last fucking 3 months. You know, I go from 232 to 239. It's like, what the fuck, man? I'm just like right on the edge. So I'm not interested in this bullshit anymore. I want to have a sane fucking life. Yeah. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. No, actually, I just want a perfect soul. So, but that's not going to happen. Still going to try to figure shit out. Still going to think about myself in multiple instances. But I do care about people when I feel they're worthy of being cared for. I'm still receptive to people's weeping and pain and suffering, despite what I might think of them. I'm receptive to that. Remember, I'm not a psychopath, right? So I'm hoping that this me-cast has helped. I know it's helped me. I don't feel this pain in my gut so much anymore. And just remember, don't worry. Be Jewish.